Welcome back, dear viewers. When we last left our survivors, they found themselves in a new, strange village. However, they also found protection in the form of a large lion man and a priest. As the bells sound, warning of impending intruders, what awaits the heroes of our story? Let's find out. Oh ho ho, greetings once more. Normally this is the part where we jump into the session, is it not? However, due to the unsightly actions of a certain Atlas, I am here to give you a summary of this story instead. Indeed, he did something so foul, so heinous to the party, that we had to invent an entire hashtag for him. Hashtag always bully Atlas. Make sure to check in on it. But as for now, allow me to summarize the events that transpired from the start to the end of this session. Revi was awoken to the sound of the bells and checked on what was unfolding in the village. It appeared that the large lion man known as Bancho Leoman was arguing with a dark, shadowy figure that was surrounded by a vortex of darkness. The priest showed up quickly and let her know that they needed to hurry and get to the church so they could escape through the back. She wouldn't call them her comrades or friends, but the people she was stuck with to get up and check on it themselves. Isaac and Elise awoke, and once they saw what was going on, they had decided to go to the church. Or rather, they would have, but they needed to get Atlas first. Isaac and Elise decided to take charge with that while Revi went ahead to the church. Valentine was at the moment nowhere to be found. He woke up a bit earlier and was having fun at the bar. And as Isaac and Elise found Atlas, the poor boy awoke to Isaac talking about punching him to wake him up. Needless to say, after the events of last time, Atlas was having none of this. Awoken in a haze, but also in a panic, the boy in his sleeping bag made like a caterpillar, trying to get to the town and away from his would-be punchers. But sadly, that direction led to the swirling black figure that was arguing with Bancho Leoman. His comrades tried to calm him down. Even his Bodemon tried to get him to stop. However, it was all to no avail until Elise finally bent down and let him know that they were not there to hurt him. Atlas, looking at Elise's face, decided that she was trustworthy enough, and the three made their way to the church. Magnangemon once more, or rather the priest that they had found, let them know to hurry and was getting very impatient with them. For what reason, who could say? He told them that the statue in the back would allow the Digi-Destined, as he knew them, to pass through, but only them and their partners. Eventually they found this statue of a large armored angel with 7 wings. 7 wings? I believe it's 7 wings. And they ended up passing through. There was writing, but they couldn't make heads or tails of it. And as they passed through, they got a very sick feeling. But they paid that sick feeling no mind, and they continued on their way. They found themselves in the sewers. Maybe it was the smell that made them so nauseous as they passed through this statue. Who could say? Eventually, they came upon a fork in the road. One path led to, well, very unsightly noises and a stench very foul, while the other path led to a warm light. It seemed like maybe it was a fire. Now, they weren't entirely sure of which way to proceed. However, going the way of the stink was not favorable for them, so they made their way towards the fire. Once they arrived, Atlas checked things out, but poor Atlas, his eyesight just isn't what it could have been, and, well, he thought it was just a bunch of children, and his Digimon ended up screaming, alerting these children. Elise, deciding to also look, noticed that they certainly were not children, and how anyone could mistake them for children, who could say? It turned out that they instead were, well, ogres? Gremlins? Goblins? At any rate, while they were the size of children, they had spiky orange hair and very large limbs, and they could use the meat they were chewing on as clubs. And while they tried to reason with these creatures, eventually Coronamon got sick of trying to reason with them and just punched one of them in the face. This wasn't the smartest option, or perhaps it was. Who could say if these creatures could be reasoned with? But a fight broke out. And, a hero arriving at the last second, Valentine finally managed to find his dear friends. Well, this fight didn't go very well. However, you could say it started and ended with one of Coronamon's punches. As the creature took damage, the fire inside of it grew and grew. And with one strike, it ended up splitting one of the ogre's heads like a watermelon. This caused the other four to run away in a panic. Things seemingly were going well at this point. By the way, during that fight, that's when Atlas did that particular thing, but we'll overlook that. So, the group decided to continue on in the sewers, but without much hesitation, there was a loud crash behind them, and with a look, they saw the four goblins that ran away through a hole ended up splattering against the wall. Since they couldn't deal with these goblins normally, whatever did that to them, they certainly couldn't deal with. They quickly ran and ran. However, this creature, very large, ended up catching up to them. Valentine, deciding to play the role of the hero once more, split off from the group and distracted the creature. This allowed the others to escape, however, his fate remains unknown. As for the others, they eventually found that they could exit through a wall in the sewers. Rather, this wall they found they could go through. And on the other side of this wall was a mountain range. What awaits them? Who could say? But that is all for this session. It may have sounded brief, but I can assure you it took them quite some time. Until next time, dear viewers.